Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a Lego set and then start a model kit. And of course, hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can just say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker, you can go ahead and lurk. We just got a raid. The stream has just started, and Torgo, 1985, is here with a party of 4. Welcome, Raiders. I was just introing the stream. I just really kicked off. So yeah, we're working on the Lego Magical Unicorn 3-in-1 kit. If you're unfamiliar with 3-in-1s, you get a box and you can build 3 different kits, one after another. We built the Seahorse and the... Hey, Lord Christian, welcome. We built the Seahorse and we built the... Peacock, and now we're going to build the unicorn, the titular unicorn. And when that kit's done, because that shouldn't take, we started it already, and it shouldn't take the whole stream. So when that kit's done, we'll then move on to a model kit, the Zaku 1 sniper type. And that should be a fun time. The sniper type is a cool looking kit, nice big weapon. We built a lot of Zaku 2s on this stream. Haven't really built... I think we've only built one other, Zaku 1. It is a representation of the streaming service. Yes, this is giving you a little bit of everything. It's something for everyone. If we were just asking me, because in this case I would represent everyone. But yeah, it's a little bit, a good little overview of what I bring to the table. A model kit, a Lego set, conversation. It's Manga Monday. In the second hour, we'll talk about 2 manga that I have been reading. And after that, we'll also talk about an anime that I'm currently watching. Zom 100 does not have a new episode to chat about, so we will not be able to review this episode of Zom 100. We'll have to wait till next week. That show is going to end by the time the fall season has started. That show will be wrapping up because it's had several weeks off. I guess... In Japan, they got a recap episode, but Crunchyroll didn't get that. So they don't always get the recaps. Sometimes they do, but not always. It's a bit of a crapshoot. Let's see. I guess we should get going here. We'll go to the overhead. Because we were talking about... There we go. We were talking about anime just there. I mean, to be fair, I was talking about anime, and you were watching the stream. So I guess we should talk about this. This is according to various reports. This is Lord Christian wants me to hit the dance button. I will hit the dance button. Thank you for using your channel points. I'll hit the dance button, then I'll talk about this thing that I got to talk about here. Because I'll just start by putting some Lego on here. We built the base already, and now we're building the rest of the kit. Yeah. Thank you for using your channel points on the dance button. I appreciate it. So this has not been updated on their wiki, but numerous sources are reporting that Attack on Titan, the final season, Part 3, Part 2, is scheduled for November 4th. If you are unfamiliar, way back in December 7th, 2020, the final season, the 4th season of Attack on Titan started. There were 16 episodes, and people were like, hey, there's a lot of manga left. What's up? And then the 16 episodes ended. And people were like, what the fuck is happening right now? And then they announced, oh, this was just part 1 of the final season. 16 episodes of the final season. That's not the final season. That's just part 1. Part 2 is coming. They never said part 2 would finish the story, but people assumed. So then part 2, which was 12 episodes, aired on January 2022. So less than a year since the previous episodes ended, but a little more than 2 years since the previous episodes started of the final season. And they're like, oh, okay, well, this, not everybody thought this, but a lot of people thought, okay, well, this will actually be it. We're getting towards the end of it. We're going to wrap this up. And those 12 episodes didn't. And then they were like, okay, well, part 3 is going to finish the story. We're going to finish part 3. And to be fair to the people that are making Attack on Titan, they did say that part 3 was not going to be a full season. It was going to be longer episodes, which it is. It's 2 of them. And the first one aired, part 1 aired, of March of this year. So the fact that these longer episodes, that it is like, okay, well, there is going to be more. So don't worry about it. There is going to be more to it. It's just so funny to me that theoretically it's coming the very end of this year. They literally are eventually going to finish the fight. Because let's see, how long was that one? I forget how long that episode was. I looked it up, but I can't remember. But it's pretty. Oh, part 3 is, yeah, okay. So that was episode 88 technically. So yeah, we might eventually actually finish Attack on Titan. Now I do like that people are saying, I bet that's not the end. I bet there's a 4th part. And I can't tell you if there's going to be a 4th part. I can tell you that this shit is bonkers. That season 1 aired on April 7th, 2013. So this shit has been a period of 10 years. There are people who gave up on Attack on Titan and have given up on Attack on Titan for like 8 years or 7 years or 5 years or the part. I hope this, right? As somebody that gave up on Attack on Titan pretty early on in the grand scheme of things, both in time and episodes, my sincere hope is that nobody gave up after part 3, part 1. That's my hope. Is that you got to part 3, part 1, or sorry, the final season, part 3, part 1, and you were like, well, I'm going to finish this up. There are some people that do, and I'm actually not opposed to just being like, I still haven't given up on Dragon Ball GT, says John. Well, if you've seen the mustache, let's see. Actually, this is rough. There is a character choice, not character choice. So one, Vegeta with a mustache, pretty good. The other thing is, there are some dragons that they have that Goku has to fight. There are some dragons that Goku has to fight, and I don't want to spoil it, even though this is an old series, in case you do continue. But there is a callback with one of these dragons that is a callback to Dragon Ball. It is a callback to the first 13 episodes. So that's kind of wild and kind of cool. Now, do I think that makes it worth it to watch the whole thing? No. I think Dragon Ball GT is a punishment because people didn't want the adventures of Teen Goku. That's my general opinion. I've stated this before on this stream that Akira Toriyama, this is again my opinion based on what has been said. Akira Toriyama wanted to do something. He wanted to go in a different direction. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Obviously the anime differentiation, but the story is still the same story. It's still the same story. It's just kind of went in a different direction. Toriyama had the itch that he wanted to do a very strong country hick in the city story. And he got to do some superhero stuff with the Great Saiyan Man, and he was telling a love story that he was actually working towards doing the love story, which, if you are familiar with Dragon Ball, he kind of doesn't, he never did. He just never did that part. Bulma and Yamcha date and break up off screen. We see Bulma and Vegeta together, kind of getting together, and then Trunks is around. Like, you don't really see the courtship. You just see, like, moments that after the fact you can go, oh, okay, that was them flirting. But, like, obviously, Goku and Chi-Chi get married because Goku promised to marry her without knowing what that meant, and then was a man of his word. And then we flash forward and they have a kid. So, this was actually an attempt to, this was going to be Toriyama's like attempt to play a little high school romance. Actually see Videl and Gohan fall in love. And you got crime fighting, and you got, like, can he protect his secret identity? You throw in the Nimbus is back. You can throw in, like, Goten to have some fun stuff with there. And young spoiled Trunks can be in there. And it was like literally a new cast. There was Pencil and the other girl whose name I can't remember. Or was that the girl's name? And Sharpener was the guy's name? The guy's name was Sharpener. Was the girl's name Pencil? I can't remember. But they were like new characters that got introduced. And it was like gonna be a thing. And then collectively Japan said, where's Goku? Where's Goku? And then we had the fucking Majin Buu saga, which is like fine. The Majin Buu saga is fine. But it was time to work on a new Dragon Ball series. Toriyama was not there every day, but Toriyama definitely gave them a lot of ideas, led it, eventually got more interested in it, and took a more active role in it. But it, to me, always felt like Dragon Ball GT was a punishment because we didn't collectively, as a society, we didn't collectively get behind the Great Saiyaman. Great Saiyaman arc is the best Dragon Ball. I don't know if it's not my favorite arc, but Teen Gohan is my favorite version of Gohan because he's a complete full person. And he's also book smart, but world dumb. And then he becomes world smart. But to make him the main character, he has to become world dumb. And that's a fun thing where he can ace exams, but like can't figure out how to not break everything because he's so strong. And that's like a fun thing. We should have embraced Gohan. Dragon Ball Z is technically a Gohan story. Yes. We should have collectively as a society embraced the Great Saiyaman saga for what it was. And we didn't. And instead, and I know I've talked about this before, but it's been a while since I ranted about GT, and it was brought up. I didn't bring it up. It was brought up. GT has. It feels like it's like, oh, you want Goku to be the main character? Well, sure. I'm going to make him a kid again. Enjoy it. I'm going to bring back shitty characters from Dragon Ball. Enjoy that. Oh, you like Trunks? You think Future Trunks is cool? John says, this is my bad. I didn't know about this GT rant. Yeah, it's fine. Hey, Dirty, welcome. But then, yeah, so it's like, okay, oh, you thought Future Trunks was cool, right? Future Trunks is like the second or third, depending on the day, most popular Dragon Ball character. Great. Well, we're going to have Trunks grow up, but he's not going to be like Future Trunks. GT Trunks is going to just kind of be like, whatever. Kind of a waste of art. And you know how, hey, we introduced Pan. Isn't that fun? The idea of like Goku's granddaughter? Yeah, she's going to be really annoying. Oh, and we're also going to put a shitty robot in there. A shitty, rude, annoying robot will also be in the show. Have fun. And that's GT. What if Vegeta grew a mustache besides saying he's not being able to grow hair? So, Saiyans don't have to grow hair. They don't, It has been retconned because in Dragon Ball Super, Vegeta and Goku come out of the time chamber with long beards. And it is, I believe, retconned that Saiyans can grow facial hair. It's just that they age so slowly that part of puberty doesn't happen, or they can will it to not happen. It's they retconned it away. Vegeta does have a mustache in Dragon Ball GT. Um, there are things to like about GT. Don't get me wrong. Introduction to some fun little characters. There are some fun arcs. Like I said, late in the series, they introduce a callback to Dragon Ball, like episode 13 of Dragon Ball, that it is like pretty fucking wild and cool. The fact that there is a villain named Baby makes me sad, but yeah, it is what it is. Not my Dragon Ball. Saiyans grow hair when they're monkeys, so I choose to believe they just became part monkey when they grow mustaches. There you go. I don't know. Look, Dragon Ball Super came out, and it technically is... Dragon Ball Super is an alternate reality, but with a couple retcons could theoretically be... Basically, the very last couple episodes of Dragon Ball Z, you have to disregard. And then Dragon Ball Super can be canon. Because the end of Dragon Ball Z makes it seem like nobody met Pan, but in Dragon Ball Super, they all meet Pan. So it doesn't really work. John, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z don't consider hair and facial hair to be the same thing. They grow hair. They just don't grow facial hair. Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. It also does... It's fine. But yeah, Dragon Ball Super could be canon if you disregard the end of Dragon Ball Z. And then technically Dragon Ball GT is in the future, so you could be cool with that. And that also explains why Oob is not in Dragon Ball Super, because they haven't met Oob yet, because the last martial arts tournament hasn't happened yet. It's just a bunch of other shit happened, including the Lord of Destruction and all this other stuff. And then they just don't... That's why Oob isn't there. Because I also was like, hey, you know, the idea that Majin Buu got reincarnated, part of Majin Buu got reincarnated in a kid, is kind of fun. But then they're like, that didn't happen yet. Doesn't Super take place like 3 months after Buu before the epilogue with Oob? Yes, Slashmark. But what I'm saying is, that epilogue with Oob, not everyone, a lot of people act like they haven't met Pan before in those episodes. But everybody has met Pan in Super. So it doesn't work. It works, but it doesn't work. It explains why Oob's not there, but it doesn't explain why everybody was like, wait, Pan can fly and do martial arts and is strong? What? Your kid is so strong? And it's like, yeah, you've seen her be strong. Forget it. Pan can fly in Super, and Super, like, you know, it's like, a lot of retcons have to happen for all that to make sense, and it's fine. It doesn't matter. Because it's, at the end of the day, it's just anime. It's just anime. Like Attack on Titan. It's just an anime. All right. Let's see. There is a... We brought background, indeed. Starfield sold very well. We'll talk about that in the second hour of the actual game itself. But apparently, even with being on Game Pass, still selling really well. A lot of people wanting to spend all that money. Maybe they want to play it on Steam with mods, and they don't want to have to work around that. Maybe they want to play it on a console. They're console gamers. They don't got the PC because it, you know, I won't say that it runs great on my computer that's 2 years old and wasn't top of the line. I got a 2040 or 2080. I got an okay gaming system, and Starfield doesn't love it, but that's okay. I hope if you pay the $100 version, you can't refund it for some reason. Hate pronouns. You would be not surprised at all to find out the British man that's mad about pronouns. Um, he was mad about Hogwarts Legacy. Oh, not that people were gonna play it, or that people were like finding reasons to play it despite its transphobic author creator. No, he was mad that people were gonna boycott Hogwarts Legacy. Because of fucking course he was mad about that. Of course he was mad that that's the reason why. Yeah, it's very funny. It was like, oh, of course you were mad that people weren't going to play the game, and were whiny about it. And I believe the direct quote is, "Then just don't play it and shut up," which is like very funny. But of course, those are two very different things. In one, it was something he wanted to play, and the other, so he's mad about. Todd Howard was talking to Famitsu. It sold well. There's nothing else to say about that story. But Todd Howard was talking to Famitsu about Starfield, and hey, mods are coming, like officially, not like do a bunch of bullshit. But there's going to be some mods next year, not this year. So when it's been patched and when they're most likely around the time of DLC, where they want people to come back to the game, that's my guess. I can't tell you for sure, but they are going to officially support mods, which they did with Fallout 4. You could download mods on console in Fallout 4. It was much smaller than other, than the long list of mods, and it was through their official. It worked really well. You just toggled them on. You could search, or you could just look at what was popular. It was actually really easy to do in Fallout 4. A modder I liked got mad at Nexus Mods, so was only putting their mods up through the official channels, and so there were like a couple mods that I had to use through that, and it was fine. But yeah, it won't be till next year. Let's see. When mods are ready, we do almost anything as we've done in the past, and the mods will be supported next year, but we will do it in a big way because we love it too. What that big way is, we don't know. He did say that mod support would come way back in 2021. He was like, it won't be at launch, but mods are going to come. Our modding community has been with us for 20 years, which is true. And in fact, there are some might say that some Bethesda games or Fallout games particularly, mods are fucking essential. Fallout 4, I think, ran fine for me. Fallout New Vegas really needed modding. It really did. It came in so hot, and there was some stuff that just never quite got fixed. So having mod support was very helpful for that. And I look forward to seeing what else is up and what's going on there. But again, we'll talk more about Starfield in the second hour here. Mario Kart Tour will no longer be getting updates. That is the mobile game. Right? Is that the mobile game? October 4th onward is just going to be recycled stuff. Which is, I think, fine. I mean, the game launched in 2019. You maybe expect a few more years, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know when to expect things to stop working in games. It's got a gacha mechanic. It had a gacha mechanic for a year and change. And there was a class action lawsuit and the whole thing. They don't have a lot of mobile games. I think mobile games were an experiment for Nintendo. So, Fallout New Vegas still needs mods in the year of our Lord 2023. Well, now it's got... So, I will say yes, but also that's because it's not super supported and it's an old game, right? Like, New Vegas needs mods so that, like, some of it will fucking just work at all in a modern context. So I forgot to put on a piece. Where did I miss that? Oh, I missed a step here. I jumped to this. I realize now I'm looking at this. I'm like, wait, there's parts that I don't have on here. I don't have the this part here that's eventually going to become the mouth. It's like, oh no, I gotta get that going. Great, now we're good. But yeah, I mean, it needs support to get it to work on modern things, but also because sometimes it's just kind of fucked up. All right, let's put eyes on here. We're doing one side here, and then we'll do the other. Get an eye on there, and then also an ear. I don't believe we used this piece yet on any of these builds. We'll get that going. But yeah, I mean, Mario... It's not like World Tour or Mario Kart Tour is ending. It's just not going to be supported with new content. So there is a report that got published today by Reuters. Reuters put this out here. That unconfirmed information here from this. Of course, this is rumors and such. So grain of salt and all that, but does seem plausible. Unfortunately, this does seem like a plausible thing. That perhaps Embracer is looking to sell off Gearbox, which is interesting because a lot of smaller companies that they have previously acquired have gone under the banner of Gearbox, so it's not really clear how much of Gearbox they're looking to sell off. Also, it's like a double-edged sword, right? Where Gearbox is their biggest money maker as the companies they've embraced, but also could bring in the most money to sell, because it would most likely be the most interesting thing that someone would want. So it is and that, but also if they de-embrace, what does that mean for Embracer? What's their next big thing? What's in the pipeline? All that. But it looks like they're looking to sell Gearbox Entertainment, is what it said here. And theoretically, they're talking to some people about working on the sale. And this is a couple people who've said that. But who actually knows? Again, this is just a thing here. So Gearbox just put out Remnant 2. That was their last thing, which did very well this summer. Not the biggest game in the world, but sold pretty damn well. They were apparently pleased with it. I'm gonna drink a little water here. Who knows? Again, this is just a report. We don't know how this works, but it does seem like that is a real possibility. All right, so that's all the gaming news that I have for you. I wanted to talk to you a bit about this. I was in my head about New York stuff today because it's the 11th of September, 2023. I am not going to give you, I am not going to be the hard-hitting guy that tells you about 22 years ago and all that. If you want that information, that's out there. You can get some first-hand accounts of people living in New York at that time. Should make it clear, I did not live in New York at that time. I moved to New York in October 2021. Literally like 28 days later, 29 days later, I moved to New York. So I was not around for that. Obviously, I was there for the aftermath, quite a bit of the aftermath, of course, but I was not there at the time. So I can't like give you, like, oh well, this. I can just tell you, my experiences living in New York. I can tell you that the St. Patrick's Day parade that happened the following year, uh, we had, I don't want to say we, for a lot of Americans, the nationalism did not feel shitty for a brief window. People that you might typically expect to be opposed to this like rah rah America, hell yeah, the USA kind of vibe, that they would be cynical about that, weren't as cynical on that St. Patrick's Day in that New York City, because everyone in a uniform got applauded, including, that there were fire departments that sent representatives that had been there in September. And even the sanitation workers got cheered. And it was like, there was a vibe. Now, obviously in New York, that was not a universal thing. There were many groups that were going through a very rough time because of what country they were from, or what country they were perceived to be from, or what religion they were, or what religion they were perceived to be. So that was certainly not great. For a great many people, that was their reality. But there was a bit of a sense that, the sentiment that you hear when people talk about New York is that, greatest city in the world. Fuck you. Oh wait, are you saying shit about New York? Double fuck you. That kind of thing, right? And my experience has been that's very true. I have met some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life in New York. It was also a weird fucking place and a bunch of nonsense. I was talking about how I miss it very much. That's kind of my big sentiment coming out of self-reflection of today, is that I very much miss New York. I know that when I was there last August, just for 4 days, I know that city did not feel quite the same. But also, I'm not the same man that I was in 2020 in March. Or, in July when I moved down here, I should say, not March. But I know I'm not the same person. So it makes sense that it didn't quite feel the same when I was up there. And a lot of people I knew weren't there, or I didn't get a chance to see some of those people. And some of my old haunting grounds were closed. And it was a different vibe. And that's to be expected. But I do miss New York very much. And I do look forward to the day that I can say that I'm a resident of New York again. I don't feel, obviously, I live here in South Carolina. But I do not consider myself a South Carolinian. I don't feel like I don't feel like a resident of South Carolina. Legally, I am. Legally, I totally am. But emotionally, like in my heart of hearts, I'm not a resident of the state. I don't feel it like that. In my heart of hearts, I'm like a transplanted New Yorker. And someday I'll be back. Someday I'll be back there. And who knows? I might end up in another city, in another town. Who really knows? I can't say for sure. I apply to places that are not New York. I apply to major cities for work. Because why the fuck not? Because I gotta get something going. Theaters and entertainment companies and gaming places and all kinds of stuff. Work from home stuff, like all kinds of things. Because it would be nice to have something like that. But yeah, right now, the dream is still New York. New York is still the dream. I would still love to go back there. And that's what I think about when I think about today. And then also, when I think about New York on this particular day, due to circumstance, I also think about the time that a friend of mine sent a mass email from her work email saying, hey, if you're getting this email, you don't work during the day, and you might want to come and do something cool. You will be on television. This is not a paid gig. You will get food, and you will get to see backstage at a cool television company, and you will be on television, and you will be in a segment for Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, months into him being, for his first year of taking over. And Drew Barrymore is going to be in this bit. And I looked at the date. I didn't have anything that day. I had to be to work, but like not till like 11. I had to go to like 11 that night for a meeting or rehearsal. So I was like, you know what? Sure. What is this? Okay, I'll do this. Again, it was not paid because there were 30 people that had to do this bit. The people that arrived were comedians like myself, people doing comedy stuff, all mutuals. There were a few college kids that you know, like that knew our friend who had just recently gotten hired to work in casting for Fallon. And so the thing was, there were these dudes. These dudes decided that the Guinness Book of World Records was bullshit. And they're right. But the idea was, you should just be able to break a record. That's cool. So they were like, let's make the internet record database. And we'll just do that. And they'd gotten like a little bit of buzz for a few things. And it kind of gone a little viral for 2009. But not very viral. And they ended up doing some, because they were New York based, they ended up doing bits with Jimmy Fallon. Because that was like an early bit that he thought was really fun. And so they were doing some bits and getting some people involved. And then it became an easy way to get celebrities involved. So Drew Barrymore was there promoting the movie she directed about roller derby. And so they were like, let's figure out something for her to do on roller skates, because she learned how to skate for the movie. And that'll be fun. That's an easy little thing. That's a good time, whatever. So the idea that ended up coming was, and you can find photos of this on my Twitter today, was that 30 people going up and down a long hallway at 30 Rock that would then feed back into the studio wore plastic throwaway ponchos, disposable ponchos, and everyone held a pie. Now that pie was, I want to say it was shaving cream. It might have been whipped cream. I don't actually remember. It was not a pie. It was cream. Now, if you want to get a pie to the face and you are in a stage production somewhere, or you are in a studio with really bright lights, you don't use whipped cream because whipped cream melts. You use shaving cream, and it sucks, but you use shaving cream because it sticks to your face and it keeps puffy. It'll eventually, it will also melt, but it won't melt as fast. But this was just like a hallway, and it wasn't lit too well, so I think it was whipped cream, but I don't remember. Anyway, we're holding pies, and the idea is we hold this pie, and she's going to skate up and just push the pie into your face. For whatever reason, we didn't rehearse this. Drew Barrymore decided she was going to just take a pie from someone and go and hit the next person and then take their pie, which actually probably makes more sense. But I was the first person in line, so she had to hit me with the pie I was holding. And she did. I got a pie pressed into my face by Drew Barrymore, and that was very funny and a silly thing. I don't generally count it as like me being on Jimmy Fallon, because I would later be on Jimmy Fallon and say words and be like in a bit, and then later be on Jimmy Fallon and not say words, but whatever. That was a side thing as well. I'm in a costume, and that's also fun. But But basically, I was like, okay, I'll do it. And like I said, we got food, we ate, we hung out. I was there with a lot of my friends. It was very funny to tell people about it. Um, and the thing the thing I would joke about would be like, well, someday I'm going to meet Drew Barrymore, and I'm going to tell her, well, in 2009, you pushed a pie into my face, and I've never forgiven you. Like, that's going to be my fun joke. She won't remember. There's no way she'll remember it. Maybe she would, but she probably won't remember it. But it'll be a very funny thing, and I'll act like I have a vendetta against Drew Barrymore, and that'll be funny. It won't be, but that was always the joke. Today, Drew Barrymore's talk show resumed taping. We are still in the midst of a writer's strike and an actor's strike. That is a show where there are hired writers from the Writers Guild of America. They are doing it without writers. I did not watch this episode. I will not watch this episode. It is struck work. But it did remind me of a weird thing that happened to me in New York, which was, of course, being pied in the face by Drew Barrymore so she could promote a movie. Having said all that, I continue to, of course, support strikes and all that they entail. And I do not support Drew Barrymore being a scab. Fucking producing your show. Fuck off. Drew Barrymore, who was originally supposed to host an MTV Movie Awards when the Writers Guild strike started, and then said she wasn't going to do it. And look, it is not, I know that I did not see her getting in the news again. No, I don't know. I know that Conan and Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart went back to work in 2008 in the last big writer strike. I know that they went back to work. I know that happened, and I thought it sucked at the time, and I continue to think it sucks. You could say that you're doing it without writers, that no one's writing on anything. You can say you're doing it because the network won't let you out of it. That's bullshit. It's bullshit, and it's nonsense. And also, Teamsters won't cross the picket line, so what are we even doing here? Just wasting everyone's time with this shit. Just wasting everyone's time with it. It's a bummer. I have to hope that will be settled quickly. And it's fucking weird for those writers who felt very supported by Drew. There's a lovely joke. There are two types of Drews. And one of them is Drew Carey, who is just spending so much money to feed people, and the other is Drew Barrymore. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, look, I know that that's funny to talk about how, some people who went to go see the show were wearing strike pins, supporting strike pins, and they were asked to leave. Yeah, duh. I don't know. That did, when you said, did you see you're getting in the news again? That's not news. That's just obvious. I don't know what else to say. What? Is she going to do a big segment on her show about how important the strike is? No, she's not going to do that. They're going to live in denial about it. Yeah. To me, it's just they're gonna ask them to leave because they don't need a reason. They don't need a reason. They just be like, yeah, we don't want you to come see the show. Have a good night. Enjoy New York. Goodbye. I don't know. Yeah, that didn't do much for me. Be like, got kicked out. It's yeah. I don't know. All right, we're gonna finish up the unicorn here. And done. There's our unicorn. Oh, and then, of course, we can put this unicorn on its stand. We're going to taste the rainbow here. Hell yeah. This unicorn's done. This unicorn is built. We have completed the magical unicorn 3-in-1. We did the other build parts earlier. Now we have done these. And then I can show you what it looks like here. This is the overview. This is it on its side. It looks very much like the photo. Lego doesn't usually lie on that stuff. It looks very much like a photo. I love the stand. I think the stand, it fell off stand, of course. But I love the stand. I think it looks really neat. This is a fun little kit that I was happy to work on. Thank you to DM, who bought this off my Amazon wish list. I'm going to take a couple photos here. I'll take a photo just of it on its side in the quote-unquote good lighting. Because generally when I take a photo from the overhead, it looks better than if I take it from the side. So we got there. And then I can put this on here. And then take a photo like this. Great. Lego done. Oh. I jokingly told a friend that I would take a photo like this, so I'm going to do it now. With the dinosaur poop that I have made previously. I will now take a photo of, because that is silly and fun. That's fun. That's just fun for me. I don't know if that's fun for you. I think that's hilarious. That this unicorn took a big old dinosaur poop. We're gonna switch gears after that very childish joke. We're gonna jump over. So let's get the Zaku 1. The Zaku 1! The Zaku 1 is going to get built. This is the Zaku 1 sniper type. Sniper type. Wow. This is the kit from the year 2006. It very much feels like it. Hey, one cool thing. Very few stickers. Look at that. Only a couple stickers. Love seeing that. What is the print on some of these? 2006 here. 2006. This is only 2006. This is like... It's a weird... It's definitely a weird build. Or the sprues are odd on this kit. Because it's like... Why is D1 and D2 look like this? Like, what happened here? I don't know. It's odd. I do like the sniper rifle is mostly already kind of complete. That'll make it nice and sturdy. So I don't mind that. But yeah, I think this will be a fun build. So we can get started with that. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit here, wide out just a little because that would be easier for me to build. And yeah, in a couple of minutes, we'll take a pause for the cause, talk about ways you can support the channel and all that good stuff. But right now, we can just hang out before we take the pause, and we can get started. And looks like we're starting with the chest here. We do the chest, and then the head. And this is weird. We're doing the chest, the head, the gun. And then the other gun. And then we'll work on the arm. The fifth step in this kit is the gun. That's very strange. And then the arms. Yeah. And then, the one shoulder there. Very strange. Got a built backpack. And all that. This kit does have some lovely, in the manual here, lovely looking colors. That's fun. That's neat. Oh yeah, it's got the knee stabilizer for action shots. But yeah, this looks fucking cool. Got some cool art in this thing. Some cool color pages. And it'll never look this good because I'm not going to paint it. But it'll look all right. Of that, like the beam sniper rifle, yeah, and some details. Yeah, it's looking good. But it is weird that we were building the guns so soon into this. Plenty of polycaps on this kit. No shortage of polycaps. That's not a surprise. Yeah, 1999 polycap. We might not have to use all these because usually they're not usually, they're occasionally extras in working on that. So we'll need 2 of these. And let's see. Anything from the world of wrestling? I purposely tried to talk a little less about wrestling over the weekend because I had been talking about it for so much because there were some big wrestling shows. Let's see if there's anything about the wrestles that I wanted to talk about. Let's see. Actually, no, not really. Looking at the news. I'm looking at Cultaholics news section. A little light on the news on a Monday. Yeah, Deonna Purrazzo is probably leaving Impact Wrestling, and it's probably time for her to leave Impact Wrestling. She's pretty much done all she can there. And I guess I would say I would expect more than likely if she ended up leaving and signing somewhere that she would sign with AEW, even though their women's division is full of great people, but not necessarily great booking. It still would probably be where she could end up. I think she'd do totally great in WWE, but I think it would be more likely that she ends up in there. Let's see. Other news, if there's any news there. Zillafatu. You're excited for Eddie versus Claudio? Yes, Lashbrook. That was announced for Grand Slam. Eddie Kingston versus Claudio Castagnoli for both the Ring of Honor World title that Claudio has in his possession, and also 39 and 38. And along with that, Eddie Kingston's title is New Japan title, a strong title. That is interesting that both titles are on the line. My assumption is that match is not going to end with a winner. That is going to end with, it will end with a winner perhaps, but it will not end with a title changing hands. I think that's a DQ finish, which sucks, but that is my assumption. My assumption is that Eddie does not win both titles at Grand Slam, but does not lose a title at Grand Slam. That is just my assumption based on no real evidence, just my gut. My gut just says I don't think he's losing the belt. I don't think either are going to lose the belt there. I think that they get interrupted, which takes Eddie away from Claudio for like a hot minute so he can feud with, I don't know, a returning Santana or something, which then allows for them to wait for Death Before Dishonor, which is the end of the year pay-per-view for them, and then they can settle things at Death Before Dishonor. That's my guess. Again, I don't know. Am I doing this right now? This goes over here. Okay. Sorry, these arms are a little confusing. I think I'm figuring it out here. And also, folks, as always, if I fuck this up, I can always try to unfuck it. I can always try to fix my mistakes, but I believe that is how they want me to do this. Yeah, I am excited for that match. Umaga's son, Zillafatu, has left Booker T's training school and independent wrestling promotion by the name of Reality of Wrestling. Zillafatu is, I believe, like finally his police record is cleared up enough that he can leave the state of Texas. He was in some legal trouble there and could not leave the state due to his parole. But apparently that, I believe, has ended. He has parted ways with Reality Wrestling. A bunch of people are wondering if he's going to sign with WWE. He is the son of Umaga. So he is part of the Anoa'i family and, of course, therefore part of the bloodline. He looks like a perfectly okay wrestler. He's new to it. So one could think that maybe he would end up at the Performance Center, that they might be excited to have the son of Umaga in WWE. But again, we don't know. We'll probably find out at some point. I can't imagine it'll be a lot, you'll end up somewhere. But yeah, from what I've seen, the match I've seen of his, he's, it's like, all right. He looks all right. Looks pretty okay. I don't know. All right, I need B6. I also need B6. This kit is old, and therefore the instructions are not great. But I will do my best, as always, friends. Do my best to figure out what I need to do for these kits and get everything looking good here. So I need... So that's B there. I need C11. Let's see. Anything else here? Also, Bryan Danielson kind of said on television, hey, I made no secret that my daughter and I made a deal that I would stop wrestling by the time she was 7. She's 6. I'm going to slow down. Does that mean he's going to be done with professional wrestling totally? No. Does that mean that he might actually wrestle less? Hopefully, I would say, but also who knows? Does it mean that he might work less dates but still help actively produce wrestling? I think that's probably most likely. Is that he'll work from home and do whatever. People were like, oh, I wonder if Saturday shows are better on his schedule. And it's like, well, it's probably partially better on his schedule, but it's not like it's suddenly better than, being home all the time. That's probably the best, is being home. All right, so this needs to slide in here. That feels terrible. All right, and then this connects here. And then this piece, we want to be able to pop this in and out, I believe. So we got to get this in. Nope, another way. Yeah, we did it. All right, yeah, so that piece removes for, I think it's so, you put something on the shoulder. I can't remember. We'll find out. Or we won't find out. I don't know. Put it on there. And we have now built the chest once I get this piece attached properly. Yeah. And we'll panel line this in a bit here. But first, friends, a pause for the cause. An opportunity for me to talk to you about ways you can support the channel if you are so inclined. Everything I'm about to say here is optional. You are under no obligation to do this. But if you would like to do it, you are more than welcome. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here. It is currently September. So if you wanted to become a subscriber, you could get a discount, which would be cool. You could use your Prime Gaming token if you want a bigger discount, because you already have that token because you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, and you get that. Hey, Aristovan. But yeah, you can save some money if you want to do that. You could also gift a subscription if you want to be like Firestar Man and Aristofan, speaking of. and you want to gift to somebody, you could do that. That's another way to celebrate September. Of course, towards the end of the month, you can actually save money on gifts and subs. Right now, you can't, but whatever. And then also cheer. You could cheer if you wanted to. We got Harold and Fleshwife Marie and Puppet Jared all gave some bits, which is very nice of them. Those are ways to support what I do here. The easiest way, because it's already through Twitch. Now, there are other ways to support me, and I'm going to quickly try to get through all those before we continue on here. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBaer. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to jump in on my Patreon, well, I'd love to have you. See if there's a tier that's right for you. My $10 patrons decided that this kit was the kit I was going to be building, the Zaku 1. Because I put a vote up to them and they picked that. They didn't pick a real grade. A real grade that might make me frustrated. Instead, they picked a very old model kit that is cool looking. So that's fun to me, anyway. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBaer. Join my YouTube channel. You can do that for free. You can subscribe to free. You can also become a member there. And for $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So if you jump in on there for $2 a month, tomorrow you will get my video before other people get to see it. And it's pretty good. I recorded it tonight, and I think it's pretty all right. I think you'll like it. The last one was pretty good. And I think this one is also pretty great. Let's see. What else we got here? So those are all ways to support me on a monthly basis. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to help me out on occasion. Well, I've got PayPal and Stream Elements and Coffee, and you can do that if you wanted to. Those are ways to financially support what I do here through all that if you wanted to. And everything I make through direct donations, through AdSense on YouTube, or just, YouTube memberships, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and I buy model kits with that fund. This Zaku 1 I picked up because it was a good price, and I was like, I would like to build that. So I went and got that. Now, if you don't want me to pull from my backlog, and instead you want me to build something and you have a say in it, you can always buy something from my Amazon wish list. Tonight we finished up the unicorn. This unicorn right here, this was bought off my Amazon wish list. Thank you very much. And there are other things on my wish list, and you could buy that. It'll come to me. I'll make in the mail. I'll make a dedicated video on YouTube about the thing that you purchased, and then it jumps the queue and becomes the next thing I built. I've got Lego sets. I got a bunch more 3-in-1s. I've got this Technic motorcycle 2-in-1, which is fun. I've got model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits. I've got fake ass Lego and really fake ass Lego. So I've got a bunch of different things on here. Sometimes they drop in price. Sometimes they go up in price like a ridiculous level for some reason. Free shipping, prime shipping, not free shipping, all kinds of different things. And I would be happy to build anything you saw on this list if you wanted to get it. Expensive stuff, inexpensive stuff, some gear at the bottom, because sometimes people want to help me out, but they're like, I don't know what to buy, Pat. I don't know how to help you. And so here's a bunch of options of things you could purchase if you wanted to. Those are other ways to support what I do here directly, because if you buy something, then I can build it. I have a Throne wish list, which is my alternative to Amazon, because it's nice to have alternatives. And Throne seem to be a nice little company doing the wish list thing. And then you can always go to USA Gundam Store, buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store. That'll send me a code. Or then you get a code in your email. You whisper me on Twitch or DM me on Twitter with that gift card code. I use that gift card code to buy something on USA Gundam Store. It's that easy. And by that I mean very annoyingly complicated, but people have done it, so whatever. If you want to support me and not spend any money, I get it, I hear you. Join my Discord. My Discord is over here in the link in the chat or the show description. You can find all these links in the show description if you're watching the VOD later. My Discord's nice. I post build photos. People post stuff they're working on. It's a good little place. I want to promote now before I forget. I have some video links to share with you, but I want to promote tomorrow night's stream. Starts at 10 p.m. Eastern. It doesn't start at 9 p.m. like normal. It will still be about 2 hours. We're going to go 10 p.m. till midnight. I have to go pick up someone at the airport, so I cannot stream as early as I normally would because I don't think I'll be back in time. But I will be back in time for 10 p.m. It is the start of a new randomizer run. Pokemon Black randomizer. That's right. We got all 8 gym badges in Platinum. We saved the world. I didn't want to do the Elite Four with that team in that game. So we're starting Pokemon Black, a randomizer. So new Pokemon will be dropping. We're going to make some new friends. And as always, it's fully randomized. I've increased the catch rate. And of course, I will ask you to help me nickname every Pokemon that we catch. And we'll see what happens. We'll make a new crew, and there'll be new Pokemon for me to have my fingers crossed for Pam Isley too. I mean, I don't know. I have a video for you to check out. Pat Baer's Anime Club. I put up a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club today. It is about manga that I feel should have an anime adaptation. There are ones that I don't think ever will for various reasons. I get into those reasons. There is one that like I could see happening, but maybe not because it's fun. And then there are a couple that are like isekai. I lumped all the isekai together. They're more modern. They're more newer series that I think you could definitely, at least one, I feel like would make a lot of sense to show up as an anime adaptation. But I don't know. It could totally happen. Not every manga gets an anime, but these were ones that I decided that I think should get an anime adaptation. So I made a video about that. And then I have a new Baerly Rehearsed coming out on Wednesday. If you missed last week's Baerly Rehearsed, here's the link to it one more time. This episode of Baerly Rehearsed is me returning to Randy from Randy's Soapbox. It is just a character I enjoy doing, a guy that thinks he's going to really fuck with shit and ruin his day by saying what's on his mind. And that's not the case. Spoilers, it's not the case. He's not saying anything that people are going to be like very mad about. In fact, they'll be fine with it. Sorry, I have itch. That's been making me mad for a while. Anyway, we're going to talk about some manga and some anime. We'll start with the anime, and then we'll get into the manga talk. And of course, we'll end with some video game talk. But we'll start with the anime, because there's just one. Because again, Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead, did not have a new episode this week, so I can't talk about it. But instead, we will talk about another one. And I'm going to drink some water, and we are going to dramatically transition to the overhead and panel line this kit as I start talking about some anime right now. All right, let's start with Sweet Reincarnation. You may remember this is a series about a pastry chef who dies and gets isekai'd, and he just wants to make pastries and sweets, but he is the son of the local lord, and he has a life of using magic and special cool magic and all kinds of stuff and doing all that. So he's got a lot ahead of him. There's been some interpersonal conflicts with people that his lordship support. The big bad, Luderote, is he's basically like a couple houses are going to come together, and if that happens, if Squall marries this daughter of a Petra, if they get married, it's going to solidify a lot of power. So some other people were mad about this. And I said, Luderote, he's like, oh, this will strain things, and this will be the perfect time for me to target Squall and take him out so the marriage can't happen. And we'll do it with the lesser person because that'll be easier for us to get away with. So that's already seemingly on the horizon. But Pastry's like, look, we're not involved in this conflict. We have the people we support, but we're not directly involved in this, like, almost a civil war. So I got to focus on what I can focus on. And he's been focused on trying to make his fiefdom stronger by having some trade happen and having some people and making, building up the farms and eventually being able to mass produce sweets and such. But turns out he's focused on the farms. He had a deal with some traders to get some goats, and those goats got taken by a baron. The baron paid for it, but he, because of the war effort, he got seniority, he got dibs. And because, like, there's a war and you need food supplies, you're like, well, we can't really do anything about it. So Pastry and Casserole are like, okay, Casserole is the local lord. Pastry is his son. He's our main character. It's like, well, if we join the war effort, then we could say that, you got to give this back because we're on the same side here. So they're thinking about doing that. Because then also they're going to get priority access to war supplies. And they're like, okay, we're going to do that. They volunteered to help Hubrick, who they like and have a good relationship with. Also, Hubrick's daughter, one of them, the daughter, is real keen on marrying Pastry, so he was going to get involved eventually anyway. And there's a lot of discussion about the war effort and all that. Squall has also joined the war effort, but they're going to put him to a less dangerous area so that he can survive. But that actually was... You say a lot of these folks are not the smartest in these series, but I will say Ludero is pretty smart because he envisioned this happening. He's like, no, they're gonna definitely have this happen. They're not gonna put him like, with a sword in the front lines. They're gonna put him somewhere safe. So he's expecting that, and he sets up an ambush. But also, Casserole and Pastry were like, Squall is going to be a target. So if he's going somewhere, he'll have some people try to attack him. So they're ready, and they arrive just in time to save Squall from an ambush. And so now they're really like in it, and they also have now saved the day. This is like the second time that Squall's life has been saved. Like, that's good. It's good stuff. Also, let's see, I need number 26 here. Can I find it? D26. Are you on this piece here? Yes, you are. You're over here. And then I've been doing this as an update. Again, this is a guy that just wants to make pastries, but he keeps getting involved in a bunch of political stuff. No pastries were made today. I mean, they haven't really gotten his goats back. But yeah, no pastries were saved on this particular episode. Or made, I should say. All right, I got to get this. This tiny piece needs to go in here in a particular way so that it doesn't fall out. It is, in many ways, too small for me to use tweezers on it. I kind of just have to get this right. It is not going to show up well on camera because it is tiny and clear. I'm going to put a sticker on it. I didn't want to put a sticker on it until after it was in because I know that I would just rub the sticker off as I try to get this piece into its hole. I can kind of look at it here and see. All right, I can. Oof. We are now getting into the part where I wish that this was the beginning of the stream. So anyway, that's the episode of Sweet Reincarnation. Now I want to talk to you about some manga, and I've got two to talk about. Is it more likely for Hayao Miyazaki to retire or pass away while working on whatever movie he's working on? I think at some point he will be forced to retire, and he will not be a director anymore, and he will but when he is forced to retire and can no longer do that work, he will still give notes. He will still have opinions. That feels like a person that tried retirement and found it did not suit him. That is my opinion on Miyazaki. And he's still so beloved that I gotta make sure this is the right piece. He's still so beloved that he has many chances to. He's got chances to fail, basically. That people will still give him the opportunity to be a director, even if he is aging and keep saying that he's going to retire and all of that. Well, no one can tell him no. Nobody can tell. No one can tell him anything. So they just kind of have to go along with it and hope that he is healthy enough and happy enough and all of that. And then if he wants to keep doing it, he will keep doing it. This clear piece does not want to fit in here. It absolutely needs to. Are these tweezers going to help in any way, shape, or form? All right, so yeah, tweezers are not gonna. This might work because at least that way I can get like this. I might have to glue this. Well, that. All right, no. I said that felt good, and then it came out. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, this piece just does not want to sit right in here, and I don't know why. But it does not want to sit in here. This is part of the head here. This is important that there's a clear piece in here so the sticker goes on it. I am really struggling right now with this, and it is very frustrating. But I also don't think that I don't think liquid cement is the answer. Oh God. Oh no. Oh, here it is. Okay. I thought I just fell on the floor. That would really piss me off. I'm going to talk to you about some manga while I struggle with this little tiny piece here. The Wolf Girl is Trying to Feign Ignorance is the first manga I want to talk about. This is I believe most chapters are like 9 pages. But if I remember correctly, the next chapter is going to be a full issue. But it is mostly, as I said, 9 pages, as a short little series. The Wolf Girl is not an actual wolf. That is just an expression. But she is a cool girl. She is like the cool, aloof girl at school that has some friends, but is kind of too cool, a little too cool for everybody, and a little bit of above it, and just real dope and cool and awesome. But on the inside, there's a guy she likes. There is a guy that she likes, and she is she does not have ears and a tail, but there are added there as an effect, as if she is wagging her tail, because the guy she likes, who is just a kind of a dumbass, but a lovable dumbass, and they have a friendship, they're hanging out, and there's some other characters that are around, but it's mostly about the two of them. I'm just going to glue this. I think I'm going to try to glue this, and hopefully that works. So we'll just put on some liquid cement here and try to apply this. But yeah, this is a really lovely little story. The supporting cast is fun. Again, it does not overstay its welcome in any chapter because the chapters are so short that you just kind of come in, see them interact with one another, feel the vibe. Do we think he likes her as a friend? Sure. Do we know if like maybe he also has feelings for her? We don't really know because we just know her in her monologue. But it's very fun to have like situations where she's just like, there's a recent chapter where she's out there with her dog, and uh, he comes by with his dog, and they're like, "Oh, we should meet in the park more often. Like this is fun, whatever." And then like he hangs out because he just like wants to pet the dog, and the dog likes him, and it's nice. And then she she just has the reaction like when he leaves, she's just like hugging her own dog, being like, "Oh, you're so good because he liked you. Oh, that's so great. Oh, I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad." And the dog is just like, "I don't know what's going on, but okay." It's very cute. I would say that if you are looking for like just like a fun little series, that this is the one for you. You should check it out. Okay, so it's this one. It's the gold. The gold sticker is the sticker we're using. Hold on, I gotta make sure. All right, that's this sticker here. That makes sense. That's the gun sticker. And then there's the tinier gun sticker, which is this one. That also makes sense. That's this one. And then what's this sticker? That sticker is this one? No, but that's the red eye. That's got to be the gold. Okay. I'm going to make this photo. Yeah. If I make this photo bigger. All right. So the Zaku 1 has this like, because it's got like, basically it's got like, because it's a sniper rifle, they give it a scope on its eye, and it's not red like you would expect it to be. It's this like crosshairs gold. And I was very confused about that because I forgot for a second what a Zaku 1 looks like. But now I remember what a Zaku 1 looks like. So everybody, it's fine. It took me a second to remember. Also now it can look up, yes. But I have yes, I have glued this on here because it would not set in right. Hopefully I can build the head around it. Hopefully it did not have to be set in all the way. And by doing this, it'll be okay. Also, hopefully it won't fall out because it maybe actually isn't fully dry. But I should be able to get this on there. We'll find out. We'll find out if I fuck this up or not when I put on the rest of this there. But usually I'm used to like a red dot for like a Zaku 2, so I was confused about that, but it makes sense now. The other manga I want to tell you about is The Creation Alchemist Enjoys Freedom. This is another in a series of manga that you know I enjoy, where the main character does a thing that people like aren't super thrilled about, and then they get rid of him. And then it turns out he's awesome, and they really fucked up by getting rid of him. In this case, it's about being an alchemist. Now, there's a twist. The basic idea is Thor works for the kingdom. He works really hard. He's not that great at it. And that's the twist. He's actually not that great. He's a good dude, and he works really hard, and he does the job, but he is not well respected. It is not something that a lot of people think that alchemists are that great. And he's also not like the best. He isn't an overpowered main character. The decision comes down that there is often a hostage set to... Sorry. There is often a ambassador sent to the demon realm. Now, the humans consider this to be a sacrifice. The demons, in good faith, consider it to be an ambassador. And so when they hear that an alchemist is coming, they're excited about that. And our boy Thor, he's given the task to be what is by many accounts considered to be a in these peaceful times still, that he is basically given a death sentence, and he's like, oh, I'm going to do my best, and I'll do the best I can, and whatever. He crosses the border into the demon realm, and instantly, for the first time, absorbs the dark element. The opposite of light is darkness. The dark element, which is only plentiful in the demon realm, thus making Thor one of the best alchemists of all time, because he now has command of every element. He has absorbed every element out there and can now do a bunch of cool shit because he has the ability to do such a thing, which he did not have in the past because he had not been exposed to it. So in that respect, God damn it, that glue did not hold. In that respect, it is atypical from the usual overpowered main character. They didn't understand him, they didn't get him. Now, it is true that he was not that strong, but he also was still a good guy, and they also completely misunderstand him. And then he is also now unbelievably strong and cool. The Demon Lord is in disguise all the time. She is actually just like a nice young lady, but she is in disguise of being this tough Demon Lord man. But for the most part, in reality, is just like a nice demon girl. Okay, so all of this is fucked up. Trying to shave this down a little bit here. Try to get this eye right. Can I put this eye in now? I put a liquid cement on there, and apparently it did not take. All right. It comes out, but it goes in there. It just pops out. I can't make it not do that. All right. It actually fits better in now. It just hopefully it won't pop out. We'll keep going. Anyway, so this is another one of those series where even though he didn't have all these powers the whole time, he doesn't quite still fully grasp the fact that he is incredibly impressive. I should also say he is the savior of the demons because he is going to help them with some things. He's now someone that the Demon Lord can be her true self around, which is really nice. That's a cute little thing where they have a space where she can take off her gear and just kind of be herself with her and another friend. He goes out of his way to help a bunch of people who have issues with magic and has some ways to help regulate that, including someone that can't regulate her fire ability, and he gives her a magic object that basically does the impossible. He basically turns her overpoweredness into a different element. So now she can control a different element, thus making her life way better. And he's just about there to improve things. He says part of it is oh, I want to prove my worth and thank you for this opportunity. But he's also yeah, I want to help people, and I recently got the ability to do it. There's some shenanigans in the human realm, and there are some people who want to bring Thor back, which is probably not going to work out great. And it's a lot of the creation Alchemist enjoys freedom. A lot of this series is the main character doing something absolutely ridiculous and everyone freaking out about it. That is the main thrust of it. And if you are not into that style of overpowered main character, the kicked, abandoned, oh, you did, hey, turns out you did fuck up kind of a story. If that is not your bag, then this is probably not the series for you. But as someone that really likes those kinds of shows or the stories, this is a totally pleasant one. It's very fun. The supporting cast is nice. I love the wrinkle of the demon queen, who is basically like hiding out from everyone and finds that she can be her true self around our main character. I think that is just a cute little part of the story. All right, so this is on upside down, maybe? Okay. This head is giving me all kinds of problems. While I continue working on this, I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching? What are you playing right now? What's your game situation? Now that I'm done talking about anime and manga, it's time to talk about the important things, which is whatever the fuck you all want to talk about. What's going on in your world? What do you got going on? What are you excited about? All of those things. I want to hear from you about that. And while you're writing things up, I will tell you that what I have been up to, which is Hearthstone, playing a lot of Hearthstone. I have a deck in Twist. I think I've talked about that. Twist is the new format, which is like not wild, but also not standard, is like partial wild. It's like limited wild. I have a deck in there that I've been enjoying, a secret deck that is fun. Secret slash spell damage mage deck that's like pretty good. And I'm just playing my normal nonsense decks. I have a standard deck that's pretty great. I have a standard big paladin that I think is like honestly a pretty fun deck, and I have been enjoying my time with it. That is a weird thing for me to say, but that is true. I've been having fun with that paladin deck. There we go. There's the front of this kit. I'm going to panel line it before I put the antenna on, but like, holy shit, I actually got this head done. This thing has been so annoying. So much of this stream has been working on this goddamn head that can look up and move around. This piece just pops out, and I don't know if there is no way to keep that from happening, apparently. It just pops out, so that's fun. But I'm going to panel line this and move on. I'm going to read through everything you've been writing. Thank you for writing things in there. And then Starfield. I've hit a bit of a wall in Starfield. I went to start doing some mainline quests in Starfield because I don't want to say I'm done with a loop, but I was wondering what else might happen. I've been looking for more adventures in there. I'm still having fun in Starfield. Don't get me wrong. I'm still glad that I'm playing it. It's worth having that huge thing still on my SD my main hard drive. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still having a blast playing it, but I did hit a bit of a wall there where I was like, all right, I guess I got to do more main storyline stuff, and I got to get out of this what I've been doing here. It is still a fun video game that I enjoy playing, but I don't know. I didn't play it today. I had other stuff going on. Tomorrow, I'm going to have some time to play, basically like before I go to the airport to pick up my mom, who's coming back from a short trip, when I'll go pick her up with my dad, because my dad doesn't have a cell phone. So when we go to pick her up, she's going to text me that she has landed so that we can go and just pull up and pick her up by one of the doors. And it's a lot easier than my dad parking and then having to go and sit inside. So I also don't want my dad to go sit inside an airport because airport air, even inside the airport, that ain't good. I don't want that. So instead, we're just going to drive over there. But I should be able to play that between dinner and going to pick her up. So I'm going to get some time in tomorrow to play the game. I'm excited about that. Looking forward to diving in to more Starfield because I, again, didn't play today because I had stuff going on. Now I'm going to, as I get ready to build this this gun here and all of its many components here, I am going to read all of the fun things that y'all have written down as I get out some part here. The Cosmic Fly is playing No Man's Sky. Hell yeah. Play your space game. Play whatever space game you want to play. That's awesome. I hope you're having a great time with that, the Cosmic Fly. Dirty says, more Starfield and Babylon 5. That's right, Dirty is watching through Babylon 5. That rules. Enjoy that. And enjoy Starfield. Aristfan bought Chants of Sanar which feels like a classic adventure game. I have heard a few people on some podcasts talk about Chants of Sennaar, and that did sound interesting. I hope you're enjoying it. You run around, you solve puzzles, you figure out the language. Yeah, I've heard some good things about that. I feel like I'm getting close to the end of the main quest in Starfield. Some wild things have happened. Yeah, well, good. I'm glad you're having fun in there, enjoying the wild things. Lashbrook went back to BG3, Baldur's Gate 3, for a bit and ran into an annoying save bug where a rope ladder I had managed to avoid destroying somehow got axed as if it was destroyed. That sucks. That really does suck, Lashbrook. It's like, you didn't do anything wrong. The game has just, like, made some sort of call to just fuck you over, and that's a bummer. Oh, not axed. You, okay, so the rope ladder you had managed to avoid destroying somehow got saved as if it was destroyed. I read that as axed as if it was destroyed. You meant to say saved it. So the game saved thinking that it had been destroyed. You didn't destroy it. Now it is just gone. I understand now. I now get what you were trying to say there. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Lord Crasher says, I'm a few more hours in the Starfield and Sarah's now only hanging out in the ship after getting a new companion to replace her that I hope won't talk shit about my hoarding. Yeah, that's always frustrating. That's why I didn't like hanging out with Kate. Kate in Fallout 4 would always talk shit about, like, that's worthless. Like, what are you doing with that? And it's like, let me pick up things. I craft things. You live in luxury because of the things that I purchase and build. Also figured out how to expand my cargo storage on the ship, though it's annoying that you can't turn the cargo containers so they don't fit on that starter ship. Yes. Also watching more Columbo, says Lord Crash, and enjoying the appearance of Vincent Price and Johnny Cash, though only one of them is a killer. Yeah, hell yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying. That's awesome. Hell yeah. I hope you continue to enjoy Columbo. That's cool. Yeah, I've been watching anime, you know. I should say next Tuesday's stream will be my next recording of Pat Bear's Anime Club Live, which will be the summer wrap-up / fall preview. That is coming again on a week from tomorrow. It's just the way that things work out. This season had a bunch of like shows that got delays or weeks off, so there's going to be an overlap between the end of the season and the start of the next one. And I always like to have my preview come out before. I don't like having my preview come out and the new shows have been on for 2 weeks. So I'd rather have the thing where it's like, hey, this show isn't done yet, but this is my feelings on it. So, you know, there will be plenty of stuff I'll say, like, at the time of this recording, the show is not over yet. But then hopefully, the only problem with doing it early, like I said I'm doing here, is I do run the risk of sometimes I don't know if a show has been picked up because it hasn't been announced yet. Because sometimes they just end up coming out. But whatever. I'd rather be like, hey, here are the shows that I think are going to be fucking cool as hell. I'd rather have that, being able to say that, than not be able to big up a thing that I think is going to be dope. All right, so I'm going to try to get this in here before I put the sticker on because it'll only be harder once the sticker's on. We've managed to figure out how to travel in space, but not how to turn ship parts around. Yes, Lord Crashington. That is frustrating. You're not wrong. All right, so then I've got 2 stickers that have to go on here. We're almost done with the stickers. When we build the other gun, or we finish this gun and build the other gun, we'll get that done. Again, this is very strange to me that we're already assembling the weapon. That is an odd thing, but you know what? Sure. This is the sniper type, so it makes sense that we are putting on that the rifle would be something that we don't build last, but it's a little odd. We're building a rifle before we have an arms to put it on or attach it to. All right, our stickers are on. Our gun is there. Feeling pretty okay about that. So yeah, I'll get some time in tomorrow with Starfield, and of course I'll be playing Pokemon Black. Pokemon Black, a game I don't remember a lot of. I certainly remember some of, but I'm going to admit that yeah, my memories of it aren't like that detailed, which is great. I actually prefer that. Like, obviously, it might mean that I have to like look some stuff up if we get stuck. But the first, like, we're not going to get stuck on the first stream. The first stream is just like very handholdy. We're going to get our start. We're going to figure out our starter. We're going to nickname our starter. I'm gonna pick it. I don't have my like audience vote on which starter I should pick, a randomized starter. So I'm just gonna pick whatever. And then we'll just adventure tomorrow. We're just gonna find out what the game is about. If our rivals show up, is this a game that has like a dozen rivals? We'll see if we can get past the start of the game. Well, it's not a Nuzlocke, Lord Crashton, so it should be okay. But yeah, I mean, like, and then we'll start building a team, and then we'll be ready to trade some Pokemon out if they don't fit right. If we don't like them, we'll certainly be able to jump around a little bit with our team. And then before the next time I do it, I'll probably end up doing some grinding, either with cheat codes to just give me more experience at every fight, or just the casual, like, don't have the audio on while I'm doing something else, run around and get it, and kind of get whatever I need done and level up. And then just don't let, while I'm leveling up, don't let any of the Pokemon evolve, because I like doing that on stream, that kind of thing. All right, so does this go like that? Let me look at how this rifle is supposed to be here. I want to make sure that I am doing this correctly. All right, yeah, so that goes like that. That goes like that. Goes around to the back. Okay, I believe I am doing this properly here. I believe I am doing this properly. And then I don't know I think it goes into this. Or just go into that. There, it goes into that one. There's another hole there, but it doesn't go into that hole. And then this goes here. Yeah, kind of cover it up a bit. And then this goes... Where does this hose go? Oh, it goes like that. This is obviously this is the sniper type, so you would imagine this to be the case. So it maybe sounds silly when I say this, but this is very detailed as far as a weapon goes. As far as weapons go, there's a lot of detail with this, which is cool. And that's it. There's our sniper rifle. It's nice and long. We're gonna hit it with a little marker here. We're not gonna do too much with it, but we'll hit it with a little bit, because I usually don't go too wild on it. But since this is like kind of the focus point of the build, since it's a sniper type, we can hit a little bit on there. Usually I kind of just focus on the main kit and not the weapon, so I'm not going to hit every nook and cranny on here, but I'll hit a few things just to kind of make it seem a little weathered, a little more detailed. Not more detailed, letting the details pop, I should say. Just kind of hit it with a few things here and there. A little bit of black. This kit's not going to need a lot of marker because it's just got a lot of dark colors to it. But, it's nice to have a few here and there. Again, tomorrow's stream starts at 10 p.m. Eastern, not 9 p.m. But it will go till midnight. We are still going to do 2 hours. I mean, I might quit out a little early, but depending on how tired I am. But, yeah. I was thinking about maybe doing it in like the afternoon, but I figured just like an hour later would be okay. It would probably be the best option instead of doing it like, I don't know. I was like, I could do 4 to 6, but then do I know if people are going to show up and all the other stuff? And Instead, I'm just going to do 10 p.m. Eastern. It'll be fine. If it's not a huge crowd, that's okay. I'll deal with it. My Tuesday streams are never really a huge crowd because it is not what I am known for doing, but it's still fun. Anyway, we started the Zaku 1. I'll take a photo of that. I'm going to do that right now. Get a photo in. And then, oops. I flip the camera around. You can see me. I'll do that one more time just for funsies. It's me. Hey, look, there's my camera. I actually don't know if I've ever shown, because how would I? I've taken photos of it, but on stream, I don't think I've ever shown the camera right there. But there's the camera. There's the Panasonic that is pointing down so that I can do stuff. That's fun. Did not occur to me that I could ever just do that. There you go, behind the scenes. Cool. That's going to do it for tonight's stream. We're going to wrap up there. I want to thank everybody for choosing to spend some time with me here on the old Build with Baer. I hope you have an excellent rest of your night. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go hang out with some people and see what they're up to. I got to go to this screen for that. Don't know why I didn't do that. As John says, we always end with a raid. So we're going to go. Normally it's Monday, so we're most likely going to go and raid Mary Kish if Mary Kish is streaming. Mary Kish is playing Chance of Sanar, which we just heard from a few minutes ago. So awesome. We're going to go see how Mary is doing with with Chance of Sanar. I said Knights for a second there. That's not what it's called. So let's go raid Mary. I hope you can come along on this raid. Mary is fantastic, as you know, and her community is rad. And this game does seem neat, so we'll go check that out. Let's see here. And let's see. Did that work? Yes. Feel free to come along on this raid. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Come back tomorrow starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, a special late start time. Pokemon Black Randomizer. It's going to be fun. Thanks all so much for hanging out. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.